Bucky breaks Zimo out of jail, the old Winter Soldier makes a short appearance, and the scientist that duplicated Captain America's super soldier serum gets immediately killed. All this and more on this week's episode of Dweeb Cultures' reaction to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 3. Hey everyone, how is it going? This is Michael, your one of your dweebs. Another dweeb of ours is Mitch down there in this corner. Say
hey
hi,
guys,
Mitch. And then we also have our dweeb Cole.
Hey, what's going on?
Alrighty, so in case you stumbled onto this channel, this is a channel where we are reviewing The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Episodes 1, 2 are currently available. We are now doing episode 3, and we'll shortly be doing episode 4. So this was a pretty big episode as far as team-ups and as far as kind of new characters and whatnot introduced.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of big things. And a lot of call-outs to the comics, which was very interesting. Specifically, the introduction of the city of Madripoor. I do not believe that we've seen this in the MCU yet. I believe this is the introduction of Madripoor to the MCU.
Now, what is Madripoor?
Yeah, I'm asking for a friend. You tell me, Mitch.
So Madripoor is a small island nation. It's one of these fictional countries that Marvel has introduced so that they can talk about world powers and places around the world without directly offending anybody, really, or falling into any legal trouble. It's kind of like DC does this with like
Metropolis and Gotham.
Metropolis Gotham, but also the country of like Conlock, which Black Adam's from, which is roughly Egypt. I mean, it has like pyramids like Egypt. It's located in northern Africa, but they never quite pinpoint it on the map. They just talk about, oh, we have this mission over in Conlock, or we have this mission over in Bialia, which is somewhere in the Middle East. It's one of these like kind of made up countries to represent a real world place. Madripoor is that here. Now, Madripoor is a pirate haven. They kind of introduced that, but
Yeah,
it's
they
like
do.
it's like a cyberpunk Tortuga from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a very, it's a very futuristic, high budget, but somehow poverty-stricken city. I was really excited to just see that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I honestly I had no idea what Madripoor was until you explained it. How much of Madripoor? So Madripoor, was that the main place that we were at where all the shipping containers were, and the highest low city that was called Madripoor?
I'm not quite sure if the shipping containers were there, but it is the city they go to with Zemo. It's the city where they meet Sharon. All of that's operating in Madripoor, which is the kingdom of the power broker, which was what much of the whole episode was about. I don't know if they moved off site specifically for the shipping containers, though.
Yeah, I think that was a different part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
But, yeah, that's where Sharon, right? She was living out and hiding, or so we think. And yeah.
Huh. So, okay, so just to just kind of just walking through a little bit, we kind of get introduced, the episode starts off as a commercial for the global repatriation council. So we get introduced to the GRC, and that is essentially the main not necessarily antagonist. Well, it's an antagonist in the eyes of these flag smashers.
Yeah. So this little short commercial was actually really important because we've heard the flag smashers talk about to each other the refugee camps, right? And this kind of shows when half the world's population got brought back after 5 years, they tried to restore the missing person's lives to how they were. So if you think about that, we're talking about homes that have sold. You now live in a new home that once belonged to somebody that disappeared. They and their family come back. bye-bye, you're in their home, get out.
Wow.
So we talk about these refugee camps, we talk about the displaced persons as a result, and it sounds like, at least from the Flag Smashers, it sounds like the people that are displaced in the refugee camps are people that survived the snap or the blip rather than the people that came back. It sounds like the GRC has restored a lot of the people that came back, but now there's a struggle and fight over resources between those that have been here and those that haven't. That trailer really kind of painted that image for us, because so far we've heard the GRC talked about, but not really what it is. Mm-hmm. We do know that somehow Captain America, the new Captain America, is working with the GRC to some degree, because he himself has brought that up in the previous episodes about the good work of the GRC and what he's helping do.
Yeah. Well, it's just, represents, something the government would put in place had this happen, some type of organization.
Yes. Yeah, but it does seem on a national scale, at least. At least that's what I picked up. Did you pick up on that also, Michael?
Yeah, it would have to be.
Global, definitely. Global, right? So this is multi-nations coming together because the blip affected everybody. So the question then becomes, how do you reintegrate these people? Right, again, once their homes have been sold, they've been foreclosed on, right? They didn't know. Jobs. The banks didn't know if they were coming back. Yeah, jobs have been lost, all these things. And then all of a sudden, snap, all these people come back. And so it makes sense that there'd be a global kind of government, really, to try to see if they can get these people back. And what is the right thing to do? Is the right thing to put them back where they were when they left? Is the right thing to kind of hodgepodge it and put it together? There's a lot of things to figure out there. So I think the GRC is probably an essential asset for them. Later on in the episode, we do see the head of not the head of the Flag Smashers, but Carly breaking in with a few of her super soldier friends into the GRC, and kind of taking a lot of the resources. And something that happened at the very end that I am like, okay, this girl is the villain, because up until this point it seemed like they were trying to make her humanized. Maybe she wasn't going to be the villain. They made it
like
villain.
A Robin Hood.
Yeah, like a Robin Hood kind of person. Yeah. But then you see at the end of the episode, she goes off the deep end and she crosses the line where she kills everybody and blows everything up inside. And that is definitely, I think, is a good indicator that she's the bad guy.
And character development for her. Remember earlier in the episode, she goes back to the refugee camp, and an older woman that we presume to be her mother,
or
some sort of family member,
somebody related to her, probably
is dead.
Is dying.
Is dead. She did not get there in time with the medicine that she stole. Her mother, I believe, her mother is dead. So,
or a friend, something.
Yeah, but whoever this relationship is, it would seem that this directly contributes to her wholehearted purchase of extremism. Now she's willing to take extreme measures to affect what she believes in. But, there was a lot of cool little points that are talked about in this episode. We did get to see her progress, but really the thing that stuck out to me the most, at least the thing that I focused in on the most, and there were a lot of little parts that I wanted to, or that kind of foreshadow what's going to happen here in the future, but we did get finally revealed to us Bucky's true feelings on why he's mad at Sam for relinquishing the shield. Because there's probably some sort of qualm with that he feels slighted that Steve picked Sam to carry on the legacy, as he almost voices himself with, well, maybe I steal that shield for me. He wants to be Captain America.
Yeah, exactly. When Falcon kind of reveals that, maybe I did the wrong thing about giving the shield to the Smithsonian. Maybe I should have just destroyed it. And then Bucky's response was, that shield means a lot of things to a lot of people, including me. Maybe I just steal it from you before you can destroy it, type of thing. So, yeah, I think that was the first glimpse. And something we, kind of figured in the last couple of reviews, that we knew that eventually there'd be some type of struggle there between Falcon and Winter Soldier regarding why didn't the Winter Soldier get it, or why didn't Steve pick the Winter Soldier. We knew there had to be some type of resentment on Bucky's end, and that's good storytelling that there was.
I think it made sense that the Winter Soldier didn't get get it just because of the whole brainwashing thing. I mean, so that gave viewers an easy explanation.
Well, 100%, and that actually also.
Otherwise, naturally, he'd give it to his best friend, who's been by his side this whole time.
Yeah. That actually brings up a good point. Something I did want to talk about. Yada yada yada. Basically, at the scene where they break Zemo out of jail, or at least Winter Soldier does, Winter Soldier kind of reveals it to Falcon in this really funny hypothetical scenario that wasn't hypothetical at all. Like, it actually happened. So,
exactly what happened.
We got to hear. So as a viewer, we got to hear the Winter Soldier just explain this hypothetical scenario. And then you see all the scenes play out that he's talking about, and we take it for granted that actually happened, and happened the way it happened.
Like watching Ocean's 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it was so when they first went to go see Zemo and Bucky decided he wanted to go see him by himself, I immediately thought that was a bad idea, because this is the guy that has the keys to his brain, right? So I mean, it is assumed that his time in Wakanda, he was taken out of that brainwashing, but up until now he hasn't been tested. We don't really know if it actually happened. Mm-hmm. And then he goes in there and Zemo immediately starts saying, longing, rusted, the whole 13 words or 12 words or whatever it is. And Bucky reacts, hey, that's not going to work on me anymore. And then Zemo goes, no, I know. I just want to see how it would react. And then he looks at him funny and says, you still got some of that Winter Soldier in you, don't you? And so that might be foreshadowing that later on, maybe his brainwashing didn't annihilate it completely. So later on in the scenes when Zemo called the Winter Soldier attack, in Russian or German, was it Russian or German? Was it German?
It's Russian.
German.
It's Russian. It's German.
Well, they're in German. Well,
yeah,
they're speaking German a lot.
Zemo is
in this episode.
So,
I know.
Hydra is German in origin, but Russian is the words that activate the Winter Soldier.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but he can say it in any language, and he would be brainwashed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
I don't think so.
Words in Russian, because in particular, no, in particular, hey.
But in Civil War, he spoke him in both languages.
Or maybe the Russian word for longing is longing.
Well, no, I don't think so. But I know that Bucky, the actor that plays Bucky Barnes, says that people will memorize the Russian words, and when they see him, try to activate him all the time. He says that fans will see him run into him and then starts calling the Russian words, and he thinks it's hysterical, and he says he always responds with, "I'm no longer the Winter Soldier, and you cannot control me."
That's super funny. But yeah, so he does say that, there's still a little bit of Winter Soldier in there. So I think that might be foreshadowing a little bit later that something might happen. Kind of piggybacking on Cole's point as to why he shouldn't be Captain America.
Well, and also, not to skip to the end of the episode, but the Wakanda general showing up also may be some more foreshadowing to that point. It's like, hey, how's your mind doing? What's going on?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she could just be interested, but I think she was more after Zemo, because Zemo killed the prior Black Panther, right? Killed the King T'Challa. King T'Challa.
But it also opens up dialogue to that aspect of his head, because we never got a clear explanation.
Yeah, be like, hey, how'd we do? Did we get that thing out of there? Are you okay? Are you okay?
Now, something on this same note. This was when they introduced Zemo and they introduced the reason for going to Zemo. I get that we have to suspend disbelief to a certain degree, but they go to Zemo and assume his trustworthiness because he hates the super soldier serum more than anyone. But I'm pretty sure that his motivation in Civil War was that he hated the Avengers. He was obsessed with Hydra and hated the Avengers. He particularly didn't like Captain America as the leader of the Avengers, but he didn't like the Avengers because Sokovia and their entire nation that he was royalty of was destroyed by their actions when they created Ultron. It seems like his trust in, he doesn't like the super soldier serum,
so we
super
can trust
soldiers,
him.
was almost complete. Like, that's enough. That's
all. But like Bucky, need I remind you that was only half of his plan, was to stop the Winter Soldiers. Yeah. The other half was to break up the Avengers and have them kill each other. That was the other half of the plan.
And remember that he uses the Winter Soldiers who have Bucky has the super soldier serum.
Yeah.
And he uses him without any qualm to attack the others. And then when he sees him, he's like, it's nothing personal. So if he doesn't like Sam because he's an Avenger, what makes Bucky think he's going to like him if he eats the super soldier serum so much?
And is he not considered an Avenger? I mean, they in Civil War, like, he fought Thanos together with them. Like, I'm pretty sure the world sees the Winter Soldier as an Avenger as well.
He just sees all super people as bad.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how did they get
Bucky is?
How did they get access to that facility? There was zero problem with them being like, okay, let's go talk to the super high level criminal that almost destroyed the Avengers. Okay, no problem. Just walk right in and get some alone time with him.
He would definitely get
100%. Like, what is Shield? What is Shield doing?
Don't want this guy visiting.
What exactly is Shield protecting, if not the known captured villains?
Well, remember, there is no shield anymore.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I guess they were in Germany. He wasn't a German cell.
But Cole, there is one sword. Now there's sword.
Yeah. Sword in WandaVision. But the biggest question: what was Sarah? What's his name? I already
Sarah. Yeah. The sister.
Yeah, she was no, not the sister.
Oh, Sharon.
Sharon. Thank you. She was lying to them about her whole situation, and she was secretly working undercover for who? Some U.S. agency. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. So we do fast forward a little bit now, and now we are at the bar scene inside of Mitch. What was the name of it again?
Madripoor. We're in Madripoor at a bar that has connections to the power broker.
Yes, and Zimo got us there. He says, hey, I know these people in Madripoor. They probably know something about the super soldier serum. But you guys can't be you. Winter Soldier, you can be old you. But Falcon, you can be Smiling Tiger?
Smiling Tiger.
Smiling Tiger.
Which is the funniest part of this episode. It's mostly serious with the exception of Sam's lines walking in like, how come I have to dress like a pimp? All the way to his favorite drink, all the way to him answering the phone and being called Sam in front of Selby by his sister.
Yep.
While he's trying to pass it off like, well, I'll just shoot the people at the bank when they're talking about the loan to the from the bank.
Yeah, like so two things. What a very inopportune moment to get that phone call. Very convenient plot device. Also, she never got a resolution on that call. So why wouldn't Sarah just call him back like a million times and be like, hey, why are you acting weird? Like, I was surprised we didn't see another phone call later being like, dude, are you all right? You said you were going to shoot people at the bank. As soon as I called you Sam, you got immediately hung up on. You were saying some weird things. Like, what's going on?
You're kind of being a jerk, and this stuff's important.
Exactly.
Okay?
like her whole world is this bar or is this boat, right? And she called to talk about the boat and we got to settle this thing, like what's going on. And then his whole world is completely thrown upside down because of that. And you're just like, there was no resolution to that. That was just a convenient plot phone call to move it forward so that they can run out and shoot bullets.
Yeah, pretty much.
But this introduces us to a character that I imagine has a very minor role, this Selby character, who I think we kind of briefly discussed it before this episode started, but we're thinking she's an underling of the power broker.
I think so. I think so as opposed to some type of like rival or as opposed to some type of going against.
The reason why I ask
minor crime boss.
Yeah, the reason why I ask is there's a very quick, brief line exchange when Baron Zemo walks into the bar. A security guard comes up to him and tells him he's not welcome here, that he's been deemed on the no-fly list from the power broker. He says something back to the security guard where he brings up Selby. He essentially says, well, if you have a problem with it, you can get the power broker or Selby. And then he turns and orders the drink. Another guy comes, puts his hands on the shoulder, and that's when in Russian he tells to the Winter Soldier, he says, Winter Soldier, attack. And then the whole fight scene happens, which was an awesome fight scene.
Yeah, super cool. And we got to see old Winter Soldier. He just does this, arm. We got to see old Winter Soldier, so that was pretty cool.
blank face.
And somebody even calls him out. He's like, "Hey, did you get a new haircut?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
But when interacting with Selby, and correct me if I'm wrong, I got the vibes that she was acting very much in her own interest, not out of a loyalty to the power broker, because she discloses to them that the power broker has the super soldier serum, and she's the one that gives them the intel that leads them to the scientist.
I feel in that field of work that's pretty typical,
Yeah, criminals. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their own self-interest and all that.
Yeah, okay. I don't even know why I had a question about that. You're right.
But I will say, I'll beat you guys to it, that, what's his name? I already forgot his name. The bad guy from Civil War. He's the
Zimo.
power broker guy. Zimo. He's the power broker.
Oh, you think so?
I'm calling it. Mm-hmm.
Hey, very well could be.
What was his explanation for having all that money again?
His explanation was that he was royalty, but I'm pretty sure I remember in the Civil War.
True, but
I'm pretty sure I remember the Civil War. His family was in this like very, very, it was like in this very small house. Like his wife was in it.
Yeah,
like
in the Civil War, he was.
This is.
As, like,
I feel like this is all retrofitted. Yeah. I feel like it's all retrofitted that he has money, because I'm pretty sure he didn't have money back in the day.
So if I remember correctly, I do believe that our only connection to him being the character of Baron Zemo was that his family was a high power family in Sokovia. Because remember, he does attack the Avengers out of a sense of revenge for his people that he'd lost. His country and his people. It's not just, oh, well, he was just some random poor dude. He has a strong sense of nationalism. I do remember him being some sort of high power. I don't know if they said he was, royalty, but in this, they do make it clear he was royalty. That's what they say. Royalty is Sokovia. Now, that's different from the comics, of course, because in the comics, he's the son of a Nazi scientist. Here, now, he's a Sokovian royalty, whatever. But this is something that I picked up on. I don't know if you guys had the same feeling. Just the way that it's shot, just the way that the scenes are shot. They make the director or whoever's leading and guiding the story seems to make you want to like Zemo as a character.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is funny because all the scenes, or many of the scenes, especially at the beginning of this episode of the new Captain America, have the tone of distrust Captain America, and yet the scenes of Zemo have the tone of, oh, you could trust this dude.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they're doing that so that we like him, so that his betrayal later on is like a surprise.
No.
I know what you're saying, Mitch, but I don't think it's necessarily wanting us to like him, but just to put him more in the spotlight and show that he is something. Well,
I feel like it wants us to like him in the same vein that we like Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy. She started off as a villain, and then Nebula kind of turned into a hero almost, but it was, a painful process, and she still did some shady things, so basically I feel like it's the same type of Zemo start off as a villain, and then he might do some shady things and become
there's more to this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
it seems
Mitch,
weird to me.
Question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does that mask that he was wearing, does that show up anywhere in the comics?
That's like his costume. He always wears like a purple ski mask. Yeah.
Oh, so Zemo has a bigger role in the comic books than he does. I assumed he was just a made-up character for Civil War, and they brought him back.
No. He is a Captain America villain. He wears a purple mask. Oh. He's the son of a Nazi scientist. But the one thing with, which is why I'm thinking there's going to be a betrayal with him down the road, is this episode alone had a lot of redeeming qualities for Zemo, and both Sam and Bucky operate alongside him like they trust him completely. They don't really play up the distrust of him. Mm-hmm. They do show the scene where he shoots the Nazi scientist in the chest, or not the Nazi scientist.
I was going to say, yeah.
But then they're like, don't do that again.
Yeah, he shoots the new super soldier scientist in the chest, but they immediately play it off like, That's right. He hates the super soldier serum and he doesn't want this guy to make any more. And he's immediately redeemed by the fact that he grabs a car and comes around to rescue them.
Yeah, screw it. Why not, right?
Which even still, you're like, you have to remember, he tried to get the Winter Soldier and Captain America to kill Iron Man. He created the entire division that caused so much of an issue in Infinity War in organizing the Avengers to actually defend against Thanos. Yeah. Right. And it's almost like they're like, yeah, bygones be bygones, which is the only thing that makes me think, oh, they're trying to get him in your good graces so that you feel betrayed when he does eventually become the villain.
Yeah.
But he's definitely established as a bad guy, though.
Yeah.
It's more of a question of when is he going to make his move.
Or how bad is he? Like, at what point do the motives of the Bucky and the Falcon, at what point do those motives, are they not aligned with the motives of Zemo anymore? So at what...
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I just know that personally it feels like they're trying to transition him from villain into anti-hero. And he's not. He's a villain. So yeah. I'm very curious what's going to happen here.
Yeah. Side note real fast. I just have a bone to pick with that scene with the freighters and the scientist and everything. When that guy with the rocket launcher blows that crate up and they just like scurry out without a scratch on them. Come on.
Yeah.
They gotta at least get some rubble on them or something.
Oh, yeah. They were completely fine. Cole, you don't know this? If a rocket launcher attacks you and you're in a confined area, the confined area blocks the explosion.
Oh, didn't know that.
That scene's in just a moment, but first they reintroduce an important character as they're fleeing from Selby's.
They do. So Selby gets shot. Selby gets shot while they're in the middle of talking to him, and after she finds out that smiling tiger is actually Sam.
And we don't know who shot Selby.
Yeah, who shot her? Yeah.
No.
So Sharon makes a return.
So Sharon makes a return. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking too. Like I was thinking maybe Sharon shot her, but I wasn't very sure about that. I know Sharon made an appearance right after that. So later on Sharon comes in, and now remind me again. So she's in hiding. Was that ever explained in any of the movies before that? Why is she in hiding?
Yeah. The Accords, right?
During Civil War, remember Captain America rebels. Remember, Captain America is the one that leads the rebellion in Civil War.
Yes.
Falcon and Sharon steal the shield back from the government to give to Captain America.
Mitch, is there banging going on over there?
Sorry, my bad. They steal the shield to give back to Captain America. Sharon allies herself with Captain America. She is ousted as a result of turning on, I believe she worked for the CIA at the time.
Gotcha.
So what she says in this episode is that never got washed clean. While there was a pardon given to Bucky, she still has a warrant out for her arrest for treason, which is why she's sought asylum in Madripoor that does not have extradition laws. And now, this is over 5 years after Civil War and the effects of Civil War. Now, it would seem that her moral compass is askew as well. Because what does she do to make money? She steals art. She steals and sells art on the black market. Yep. And they don't seem to have much of an issue. We do look like we lost Cole. We're going to work through those technical issues here in a moment, but let's continue forward with the episode just to gain some ground. So they meet up with Sharon. They find a little bit of a background with her, and then they talk about what they learned from Selby and move forward from there, which does lead us to that scene Cole was just talking about with the storage containers where they find where they believe this secret base is. They find the secret lab. They move in. There's the brief exchange with the new scientist. The new scientist, not an important character. He gets wiped out of the scene so quickly. It's essentially just
you know what? And you know what's so funny about that is that how many movies made it a plot that people were trying to, get super soldiers and trying to develop a super soldier serum and all this stuff. And the first show that we find out that super soldier serums has successfully been duplicated, right? That was the whole premise of like the Winter Soldier and all this stuff. As soon as we find out that the super soldier serum was duplicated and we find the scientist that did it, he's immediately killed. Like, I feel like you could have done something more with that storyline.
I get it though, because they want to focus on the Flag Smashers as being the target for the power broker to acquire in order to draw the serum from their blood to recreate the serum, and also the target of the Captain America, Falcon, Bucky Barnes, all of them as well. It really brings them in as important characters in the series. Now, with this scene though, this is something to remember, because I think this might tie in importantly.
Yeah.
The biggest flaw with the Winter Soldier serum, which is it's an attempt to recreate the super soldier serum, but it's not the same recipe. It's entirely different scientists.
Okay.
The biggest flaw was that it creates a like mental illness psychosis in the people that become infected with it. That was one of the things with Bucky. One of the reasons why he still has to follow therapy is because not only was he brainwashed, but the new super soldier serum made sociopath super soldiers. Okay. This super soldier serum is a derivative of the Winter Soldier serum, not the original Captain America serum, which is what this scientist talks about.
I thought this whole time it was Captain America.
No, they talk about the super soldier serum being completed work. This scientist believes that he perfected what the Winter Soldier serum had gotten wrong with the aggravated emotions that are brought upon by that serum.
Winter Soldier doesn't seem super aggressive to me.
That was really talked about a little bit in the Winter Soldier itself, but mostly in Civil War with the Baron Zemo scene at the end. Because if you remember, they go to Baron Zemo's final location expecting to run into all these super Winter Soldiers, only to find them all killed in the cryo tanks that they were stored in the underground Soviet base, because Zemo had already killed them. But remember, that's what they were talking about is, when they ask Bucky about the Winter Soldier program, he's like, yeah, man, I wasn't the only one. They created all these other super soldiers, but they were all crazy because the super soldier serum drove them insane and sociopathic.
And that was the scene where he had to help get him out of the jail cell.
Yeah, but if you want to talk about Carly now, and we're happy to have you back, Cole. If you want to talk about Carly, the leader of the Flag Smashers, we see a change where she becomes extremist and uncaring for life when she detonates the car on the side of the building, killing the people inside the GRC center that they had raided.
That's true.
It could be, we don't know for sure, but it could be a side effect of this super soldier serum as well. Mm-hmm. That it started to contribute to the same mental and emotional problems that Bucky went through and that the other super soldiers as a part of the Winter Soldier program went through.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. Sorry, I'm just coming in. But she...
Oh, looks like Cole's just having issues.
Human nature. Huh?
We're getting a little bit of breakup from you. Are you there? Are you able to hear us?
Yes.
All right.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. You're kind of coming in a little. But in any case,
anyway.
so we get introduced at this point. After all of that, we get introduced to Dr. Nagel, who is the person that created it, and he gets immediately killed, as we all pointed out before.
Unimportant. Yep.
Unimportant, apparently. Mm-hmm. And so my question was, how did they all find them super quick, all the assassins? Because there was a bounty that was put out for the three of them, and they were found almost instantly everywhere as soon as they got to the which is supposed to be the Continuum was supposed to be this top secret place that nobody even knew.
I have a suspicion on that.
Who's that? Let's hear
point.
Sharon
there's a few.
Leaves them behind when they separate and makes a call or makes a statement to somebody that picks her up.
Yeah.
That is suggestive that she has other allegiances. I would not be surprised, because she took asylum in Madripoor, if she is actually an agent of the power broker and disclosed their intention all along. Now, she did stay outside of the lab while they were in there and attack some of the soldiers that were incoming when
Yeah.
they wouldn't have known if she let them pass.
That's true.
That's the only thing against the fact that she might be for the power broker. But she could be playing double agent where she gives the intel to the power broker because that's the person that's the person currently offering her asylum, and then also is assisting Sam and Bucky with the hopes that they can actually get her pardoned. I'm guessing that's what it is. She may have a different allegiance, but I'm thinking power broker makes the most sense.
I think there's a lot of possibilities here. Yeah, that, and I like to think she's still on the side of good, and fantasizing that she's secretly working for Nick Fury.
And, that'd be interesting.
Perhaps.
Also,
because that's Nick Fury's style.
Also, talk about
another possibility on how they were found is that there's a leak with inside whatever agency she's with, whether if it's good or bad. And another is that what's his name? The name I keep forgetting.
Zimo.
Main bad guy here.
He's the power broker.
Yeah, and he leaked it somehow just to get rid of him.
Also, not to mention, Sharon is now Sharon Unleashed. Did you see? She was Winter Soldier when she was killing all these guys left and right. She was better than Black Widow. She got some upgrades, man. She's been doing nothing since Civil War but training and becoming an even bigger assassin than she was before. Maybe she was just super tamed as an agent. She's tied down by red tape, but not anymore, man. She just killed all these assassins. Yeah, she did. Okay, so after that, we discovered that the scientist is dead and there is no more serum. So that closes off any future plot holes. I think they did that on purpose, so that it would close off plot holes in the future to see if there were any serums that escaped or in the lab. And then conveniently, the whole lab got blown up. But our three heroes, they were completely fine.
That's right. It's because of the scientific freighter being blown up, and when you're inside, you're fine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Next scene, we do go to Lithuania. And in Lithuania, Carly explains that that everyone knows now that the scientist is dead and that they have the only super soldier serum. And her rationale is that, that means the power broker is going to come begging for his serum. He's going to be willing to talk. I really don't think somebody with the name of Power Broker is going to come begging for the thing that they stole.
She seems to think that she's going to negotiate
that she has the leverage.
He's going to take her out.
Yeah, I don't think she has the... I mean, she does have the medicine. I mean, she does have the solar serum, but I don't think this is somebody that's going to just be like, okay, what do you want for the serum?
Yeah, he's probably just going to kill her and then, reverse engineer it from her body. I don't think he even needs her alive, to be honest.
That's true. He might try to keep her alive, though, because as somebody, the name is the Power Broker, and he's pulling all the strings. Because they did mention, like, what did they mention? They mentioned torture with somebody at some point. I can't remember that. Do you remember that, Mitch, when they talked about, it's a good thing you weren't around, because if he would have captured you.
I don't remember. I don't.
Yeah,
Cole had brought this up, but we kind of blew by it. Yeah, I would love to see a Samuel L. Jackson cameo in this show. That would really be great. The further we're getting into it, the less likely I think it is that we see the Chris Evans cameo in this. Yeah. I would not be surprised to see cameo crossover from other characters that will be in other shows or characters that will soon gain more popularity in the new MCU moving forward. But this is really towards the end of the episode because we get the final scenes with Carly and then we wrap it up with that end scene.
We do.
Carly is not necessarily a big star power, but we had mentioned in the first episode that she is the same actress from Solo, a Star Wars movie, who plays, I believe the character's name is Enfys Nest, where she plays actually a very similar role. She plays the very similar role of a badass,
being the bad guy.
Yeah, somewhat villain, somewhat hero, rebel. And I would not be surprised if Flag Smasher, if that's her name, carries on to be a character beyond just this season. I wouldn't be surprised. I think that Disney likes her. They're showing that by the fact that they're moving her across multiple properties. And I expect that one of the upcoming episodes that we have is going to dive much further into her as a character and make her much more important to this role. They did not introduce the Flag Smashers only to suddenly bypass them and only focus on the Power Broker.
Yeah.
All of these characters have to come in together. It is very alarming, I think, to myself, that we saw so little of the new Captain America in this episode. I'm expecting that this is going to all tie in together.
Yeah, I agree. And in this episode, they also went out of their way to add a little bit more storyline to Carly and make it so that they do have one common enemy. Both sides do, right? The Power Brokers is one common enemy between them. And because they're going out of their way to put a sympathetic eye onto Carly right up until the very end, there might be a alignment between them two somewhere down the road. The enemy of your enemy is your friend, right? So they might be.
This is purely speculative, but remember, at this time, the new Captain America is just human. He's just a very good soldier with no special powers. If the Power Broker has the ability, or maybe if capture of the Flag Smashers has the ability, to give him a super soldier serum to put him on par with the previous Captain America, I think that might be a personal interest for him, especially if he's trying to
evil.
Especially if he's trying to fill the roles of a true Captain America.
Well, I mean, so you do see him struggling. I mean, he can't get Bucky and the Falcon on his side. He goes in and tries to be super bad and go into this refugee camp or whatever it is, the Flag Smashers location, and tries to rough up some people and be like, I want answers. And then the guy's like, I'm not going to tell you nothing. And he's like, do you even know who I am? He's like, yeah, I do. I don't care. I'm not scared of you. This is nothing. And he kind of takes it. It seems like he kind of takes it kind of hard. So I do see that the stage is being set for this Captain America to, be like, I'm not living up to Captain America. I can't do it. Why should I even try? You know what? Sure, I'll take a super soldier serum and become super powerful. Then I'll do your bidding. Why not?
And if it's like I suspect that this super soldier serum is not as flawless as the scientists would have us believe, it could be that they take a character with good intentions that so far actually seems like a good dude, and because this is a Winter Soldier variant of the super soldier serum, that contributes to extremism the same way it seems to be doing in Carly.
Yeah.
Could be.
And Captain America still needs to die at some point too. Gotta remember that.
Well, I mean, maybe our protagonists are they going to be the ones that end up having to kill him. Yeah. Crazy. So this is this episode kind of opened up a lot of questions and a lot of potential plots after this one.
But
and
wait,
let's
more.
Let's not forget. Yes. All right, we may be talking about the same thing. I just want to point out the shout out of getting in the car and saying, you're not going to push your seat up, are you? It's like, no. Just a shout out from Civil War, because that's the same line he did in Civil War when they got together.
That's not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about is the final scene of the episode, which reveals Ayo, A-Y-O.
Oh, yeah.
T'Challa, Black Panther's best friend.
Yeah.
The female leader of that female guard. I have their name up right here. They're called the Dora Milaje. Okay. They are the guard that protects T'Challa. And remember, very sadly, outside of the universe, the actor that plays Black Panther has passed away.
Yes.
Marvel has said that they intend on moving forward with a Black Panther story. His character will probably have passed away in the story as well, and he needs to be replaced. I don't know if they've chosen a replacement for him, if they're going to use his sister, who they were kind of leaning towards being like a brainy Iron Man type character, or if they're going to choose this woman, Ayo, who had actually a big role in Infinity War and Endgame when they did the girl power fight scene at the end of Endgame. She was a part of that. in Infinity War, she fought, I think, Corvus Glaive, one of the four horsemen of Thanos. She's been a strong, powerful character, and she reveals herself to Bucky at the end of the episode dressed in all black. It's actually really resemblant of a Black Panther uniform. So I'm curious. This may be the introduction of the new Black Panther. I know that Disney's interested.
It makes sense.
I know that Disney's interested in introducing more strong female superheroes. Yep. This could be a way to take a character that the audience already cares about and evolve her involvement within the series. So I'm really curious if she's going to reveal to be the new Black Panther. We'll see.
Yeah, and as kind of Cole said out, they can have a fun conversation about, hey, how's that brainwashing going?
Exactly.
And remember, this entire series seems to revolve around the super soldier serum and different forms of super soldier serums. And the Black Panther essentially draws his power from the equivalent of a super soldier serum in the form of that heart-shaped herb that grows in the Black Panther's secret sanctum or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And Black Panther operates roughly on par with Captain America when it comes to physical abilities. This could be another means by which one of our characters may obtain some sort of super soldier serum. Who knows?
Yeah.
Intriguing.
A lot of possibilities out there.
Yeah, this episode definitely lent itself to a lot of cool things that are going to happen in the future and some unanswered questions. Final thoughts for the episode, Cole.
Oh man, yeah, it felt like it showed more familiar faces, which was cool, but also kind of, I don't know, just kind of dragged it out. I mean, it was satisfying. I mean, I didn't expect any more or less, I suppose. So yeah.
Fair enough. All right, Mitch, how about you?
If you check out on our channel, I'm doing a review of a show called Invincible right now. Mm-hmm. In my most recent episode, I commented that Invincible, after a strong first 3 episodes, was taking a more measured progression through the story with its 4th episode. I feel that the progression that this show is making is the opposite.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
This is a rapid progression where each episode is covering a lot of important details carrying the story forward.
Absolutely.
Now, personally, that's the type of show I like. There's no monster of the week. There's no, on this episode, we're doing this needless thing. Every episode seems to be carrying the story solidly forward and at a pretty good flowing pace. So I really liked this episode. I'm excited for what happens in episode 4. I mean, think about it. We had 2 episodes prior to this, and the first episode only focuses on Sam. The only involvement that we get from Bucky is that he's sad he killed people as the Winter Soldier. That's about it. Second episode, their introduction to each other covers a lot. Not only do they track down the Flag Smashers, they fight them. They interact with the new Captain America. There's a ton of character narrative that's included in there. And in this episode, Zemo, Madripoor, Power Broker, and a lot of new intelligence given to us, not to mention the returning characters of Sharon and Ao. So we're moving. I mean, we're moving with this show, and I like it.
Absolutely. At the beginning of this episode, there was no Zemo. They were talking about maybe going to see him and then breaking him out. And by the end of the episode, they're already soldier buddies. They're already war buddies. He's a part of the team. He's a part of the team. Yeah. Right, and so and they're in a completely different state, completely different city, completely different nation. Like they're just So you're absolutely right. This thing is going. So I do like that. It's very high paced. The one drawback to those types of shows or episodes rather is that there's not really a resolution. There's not really an introduced conflict and not really a final resolution by the end of because you always have in your TV shows, you always have an A plot, C plot, A plot, B plot, C plot. Well, in this one,
it's easy for disappointment.
We're just working on the overarching series A plot, which is cool, but I would like some type of resolution, some type of finale, some finality out of this, but we are just moving along and it's great, but at some point, they're putting a lot of money into production. They're putting a lot of these fight scenes and these choreographed scenes and blood and guts and all that stuff everywhere, which is cool. but there's not a ton of episode substance, you know, as far as an arc of an episode, which gives you a satisfying ending. You know, I didn't really get a super satisfying ending. It's just like, okay, ready for the next episode type of thing.
Yeah, it's like, well, in this episode, they went all over the place as far as like from here to here to here to here.
Yeah.
Jailbreak, that's done in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it is. It's done in a hypothetical, you know, paragraph.
Then hunting down this person. Oh, she gets killed. Oh, hey, Sharon.
Yeah,
You're
okay,
here.
hey, we're done.
And battling. Oh, super scientist.
Let's sprinkle
guy,
in some jokes. Let's sprinkle in some jokes in there. Have them drink rattlesnake blood. Why not? You know.
So, yeah, as far as an artistic like film watcher standpoint, yes, it could be, you know, materialized better. But that's what makes it fun for us.
Yeah, but if you just want to sit back and grab some popcorn, it's been a great flick.
Exactly. Hey, so I agree. Ultimately, what the cornerstone of our experience with this show is, and I think what Disney's assuming most viewers' experience with the show is the reason why they can make the moves that they're making and that it still works is because we have 23 films foundation going into this series. If you were to be like, hey, I've not seen a single MCU film and I want to tune into this show to now, I'm sorry, I think I'm like tapping the mic. I apologize. If you suddenly want to go into this show and be like, this is my entrance to the MCU, you're lost right now. You do not know what's going on.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
No, it operates completely after or completely on our foundational knowledge of the MCU already.
Completely assumes you've seen every hour of the previous 150 hours of this series.
And for the most part, they're right.
Yes.
The people that are watching this show are not first-time fans.
No one's getting into the MCU via Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's very good. But yeah, anyway, really appreciate it, guys. If you stuck out to the end, really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. We're really enjoying this show. We're really enjoying doing this podcast, this podcast and this YouTube channel. If you want to listen to us on a podcast, we do have a podcast channel, Dweeb Culture, where we are going to be putting this review up. We also, if you're on the podcast listening, we have a YouTube channel where you can see our pretty faces and match it to our voices as well. And yeah, are there any, am I missing anything, guys?
No, just,
got it.
I'm simultaneously doing a solo review of the animated Amazon series of Invincible. I mentioned it very shortly, but please, the show is rolling. It is also a great superhero series and tale, despite the fact that despite the fact that it's animated, it is very adult in theme and execution, and I highly recommend watching it, and I highly recommend checking out my reviews on it.
Awesome. Sounds good, guys. Well, anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. This is Dweeb Culture. Live long, and may the Force be with you.
Bye, guys.
Later.